Stephen A., how far could the Warriors go with Wiggins back?
They could go to the finals. They can go to the finals. Andrew Wiggins, all right, obviously an elite defender, obviously an 18-point-per-game scorer who can finish in the open court, who can score from the perimeter, and can defend. That's an additional third weapon. I'm sorry. I can't summarily dismiss the Golden State Warriors. It is entirely possible that the Golden State Warriors, despite this roller coaster they've been on, that they could end up going back to the NBA Finals.
After making several wrong predictions in the past, I think I'll have to agree with Stephen A. on this take 100%. I mean, after missing 20-plus straight games, various sources have confirmed that Andrew Wiggins is officially back and will suit up for the Golden State Warriors in the upcoming playoffs. It has been a roller coaster ride for the Warriors this season, with their difficulty winning on the road, as well as dealing with several injuries. But with GP2 back into the fold and now Wiggins, their championship lineup from the last season is now finally intact, and I certainly wouldn't count them out just yet, especially now that they're running in full force. Anyways, this huge development is a total game changer for the Dubs. And here's Zach Lowe explaining why the return of Wiggins is such a big deal for them.
It's a huge deal, and everyone focuses on Andrew Wiggins' defense. He's their best wing defender. He's their answer to the big wings in the West, and he is. But don't sleep on his offense. He became a great spot-up shooter with the Warriors, found ways to fit into their system, when to cut, when to screen, can kind of scrounge you buckets on pick and rolls and isolations, and having a guy who just finds his way to 20 points a game is a huge deal. It's a buffer against, Clay goes 2 of 10 from 3. Steph has the random cold game. So yeah, the defense is important, but he really rounds out their team on both ends of the floor. They need him at full throttle to make a real run.
There's no doubt that Wiggins will definitely boost the Dubs' chance of winning the chip this season with the things that he can do on both ends. With that said, let's now take a look at how he can help the Dubs win some games in the playoffs. Starting with his scoring. During the 23 games that he was out, the Golden State Warriors definitely missed his scoring big time, because this guy brings in 17.1 points a ball game, and he was also shooting quite well before he took his leave of absence, averaging 47.3% from the field and almost 40% from 3. And if you want to be more specific about it, Wiggins has been killing it from every angle possible, whether it's inside the shaded line, mid-range, or corner threes. There's no question that Wiggins has become a better jump shooter compared to when he was playing in Minnesota, primarily because the Dubs' system forces him to be so. And in the following clips, let's take a look at how his improved shooting will help the Dubs in the upcoming playoffs. In his last 2 seasons with the Dubs, Wiggins became a more efficient floor spacer, and in this play, Wiggins just splashes this one through, coming off a fancy pass from Steph in transition. Along with this, his confidence in hitting threes has grown leaps and bounds in the last 2 years. And here, you can see that Wiggins never hesitated in pulling the trigger, despite the fact that there are no black shirts positioned to get the rebound underneath, with still plenty of time left on the shot clock. And he's so confident this season that he can hit catch-and-shoot threes with a hand in his face. Now, when he's not out there dropping long bombs, Wiggins can also get his buckets by creating shots on his own. See, here's Wiggs going up against the much taller Anthony Davis. Since he can't just simply force his way on him, Wiggs plays with his food first, and after showing off his handles, he knocks down a tough step back against the outstretched arms of AD. Same thing here, after Osman shuts his path to the rim. Wiggins puts him on skates in return and hits another tough bucket. In the first 36 games that he played this season, you can see that Wiggins has been making a living by hitting jump shots at a high percentage, and based on these numbers, there's no doubt that his ability to hit jumpers will play a huge role in the Dubs' postseason campaign. Anyways, his outside shooting is just one part of his game that makes him a legit threat offensively. But aside from this, we all know that Wiggs' super weapon has always been his ability to jump out of the building and finish plays with raw athleticism. I mean, look, off the screen, Wiggins immediately turns the corner and attacks the basket. Now, when the big man challenges him on top, he just uses his strength to finish this one through contact. In this play, Edwards was able to hold down Wiggins as he went to the paint. But when Wiggins recognizes this, he immediately puts him on a spin cycle and softly finger rolls this one home using his length. As you see in the previous plays, his footwork has also improved tremendously this season, and in this play, Wiggins just fends off his defender as he switches pace using a beautiful Euro step. But overall, what I like about Wiggins is that he can simply take over if he wants to. I mean, here's Wiggins going downhill, and when no one dares to stop him, he just puts his head down and goes straight to the rack to finish this one with a strong layup. Based on the NBA's advanced stats, you can see that Wiggins has been aggressive in attacking inside this season, as most of his shots come from point-blank range. And this only means that he's going to be a handful to deal with in the playoffs, since he's going to be a legit offensive threat from inside and out. Anyways, aside from his polished offensive game, Wiggins can also help the Dubs in the playoffs through his hustle plays. I mean, most people don't see this in his game, but Wiggins is a scrappy player who never gives up on any play. Check these out. See, after Steph Curry misses a corner three, Wiggins literally jumps out of nowhere to grab the offensive board and sticks it back in. Now, in this play, look at how many gray shirts are standing around the paint. But despite being outnumbered, Wiggins beats them all using his hops, and he just skies through the rafters with this putback slam. As I said earlier, Wiggins is the type of guy who just won't quit in every possession. And here, he just poked the ball away from Grant and turned it into easy 2 points. Back then, Wiggins was just a one-dimensional scorer who used his athleticism to drop buckets. But as you saw in the previous clips, his offensive game has expanded tenfold in the last couple of years, and he even developed a blue-collar mentality with the way he hustles on both ends of the floor. Anyways, as we all know, playing defense has been the major problem for the Warriors all year long. But with the big developments in the last couple of weeks, like the return of Gary Payton II, and now the impending comeback of Wiggins, there's no doubt that they'll ramp it up on the defensive end as they're about to enter the postseason. Well, speaking of Wiggs, he is, without question, the best perimeter defender in the Dubs' starting lineup, and in last year's finals, we saw just how valuable he was on the defensive end, with the way he clamped down both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown throughout that series. Before he took his sabbatical, Wiggins is actually playing really well defensively this season, and here are a couple of stops that he made to show how his defense can help the Dubs win some ball games in the playoffs. I mean, in their rematch against Boston this year, Wiggins locked them down as if it was deja vu all over again. See, in this fast break attack, Brogdon located Smart as he was filling the lane, but instead of having an easy layup, Wiggins was there to spoil the party by using his quick hands to swipe the ball. Now, a couple of possessions later, Wiggins stalked Smart yet again, and after he put up a series of moves, Wiggins didn't budge even one bit, and he just locked him up in this sequence. Anyways, let's now move on to their game against Sacramento and see how he defended blazingly quick De'Aaron Fox. After getting pinned under Sabonis' screen, you would think that Fox would just easily go to his sweet spot and hit the mid-range J. But that's not the case right here, as Wiggins just recovers in time to swat away his shot from behind. Now, when Fox tries to attack him, you can see that Wiggins' length and frame clearly bother him, and he just picks up the loose ball when Fox temporarily loses his focus. Anyways, aside from being a great individual stopper, Wiggins is also a tremendous help defender. And as you see here, Wiggins once again uses his long reach to force a steal, which leads to an easy basket for JP3 on the other end. Now, speaking of that reach, Wiggins also loves to use that whenever he plays in the passing lane, just like in this play. And even against bigger players, Wiggins can hold his ground just like what he did here against Zach Collins. Last season, Wiggins was ranked 20th in the league when it came to defensive win shares, and he only comes second behind Steph Curry on the entire team in this particular category, which only goes to show that the level of defense Wiggins is playing is absolutely no fluke at all. Now, after all the clips and data that I've thrown out here, I really think that Andrew Wiggins is the ultimate difference maker for the Dubs that could help them pass through against heavyweights in the West, like the Suns, Kings, and the Nuggets. I mean, his versatility on the offensive end, as well as his ability to guard multiple positions on defense, are going to help the Dubs in a big way, especially if the series goes down to 7 games. And with that being said, I really believe that the Dubs are going to shock some teams in the playoffs, especially now that two-way Wiggs is back in the mix.